Mollie Tibbetts' killer is revealed to be an illegal immigrant. The left finally gets evidence of actual criminal activity by Donald Trump. The Me Too movement is forced to admit that women can sexually assault men. And the weekly Hottie joins us right here on the channel. Coming up on Today with 2 Cents. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Today with 2 Cents, wrapping up your weekly news. Today's episode is sponsored by the weekly hottie herself, Kimberly Potter. So please, help her out by following her on Instagram and Twitter. The links are below. Go ahead, pause the video, follow her on Instagram and Twitter, and then we'll continue. Have you followed her yet? Alright. For over a month now, authorities have been searching for 20-year-old Mollie Tibbetts of Iowa. The beautiful young lady was last seen jogging in her small farm town home, and family members had expressed their hope that she was still alive and being held somewhere. Well, this week the tragic news came out. Mollie Tibbetts was murdered, and well, much to the dismay of leftist media, it was not a white male Trump supporter. It was an undocumented immigrant.
According to a preliminary autopsy report, Mollie Tibbetts died from multiple sharp force injuries, indicating that she was stabbed to death.
Mr. Rivera, did you kill Mollie Tibbetts?
A judge ordering the suspect, a 24-year-old Christian Rivera, held on a $5 million cash bond.
Mr. Rivera, you have been charged with murder in the first degree.
Investigators say Rivera followed Tibbetts when she was out for a run, abducted and killed her, then put her in the trunk of his car and dumped her body in a cornfield.
What disgusts me about this more than anything is how leftists like Elizabeth Warren are trying to claim that this really happens because illegal immigrants are mistreated, or some such baloney. A young woman lost her life, at the hands of an illegal immigrant no less, and you want to make him the victim? I've been clear where I stand on the issue of border security in the past, so instead let me focus on what this tragedy really teaches us. Women should train with and carry guns. According to Rivera, the assailant, Mollie threatened to call the police if he didn't stop following her, at which point he assaulted her. Despite Mollie's intentions, even had she called the police, they would have taken at least a few minutes to get there, at which point Rivera could have already killed her. On the other hand, had Mollie pulled out a gun and told him to step away, odds are she'd still be alive. Men and women alike ought to exercise their Second Amendment right for self-defense. Even a 6'4", 280-pound rapist won't be messing with a 120-pound woman if she has a gun. President Trump has been the target of endless media tirades about Russian collusion and election meddling. But does the media finally have evidence of criminal activity? Possibly, thanks to Trump's former lawyer trying to save his own butt.
Juan, very interesting because specifically, among other things, he is pleading guilty to campaign finance violations and saying that essentially the money he paid to women during the campaign, Michael Cohen, as the president's personal attorney, was hush money and that he did it at the direction of the candidate. Doesn't name that candidate, but everyone in the world knows that would be Donald J. Trump. It's significant as well because this is the first time you see anyone in the president's orbit pleading guilty to charges directly involved in the 2016 campaign.
Now, to be clear, it is absolutely true that President Trump has been on the receiving end of criticism far worse than most presidents face. But to be fair, there may in fact be a case here that Trump violated campaign finance laws. Is it enough to get him impeached? Who knows? Bill Clinton lying under oath was enough to get him impeached by the House, but not ultimately booted from office. Democrats vehemently defended Clinton for his dalliances with Monica Lewinsky, but are now vehemently calling for Trump's impeachment thanks to his dalliances with Stormy Daniels. Well, Republicans vehemently called for Clinton's impeachment when he was in office, and now vehemently defend Trump. Everyone's tribal, us versus them tendencies are kicking in. But hey, the political system is already broken, and no politician ever makes it through their career without doing something illegal, so I'm just gonna sit back and see where this goes. I'd still rather have Trump in the White House than Clinton, but I'm not on Trump's side by any stretch of the imagination.
Welcome to the cable access televised debate between a giant douche and a turd sandwich.
Thank you for the invitation to speak to you today.
Suck up! Suck up!
Have you heard of actress Asia Argento? Great proponent of Me Too and bringing down sex perverts like Harvey Weinstein? Well, guess what? She's now been outed as having paid off a male actor whom she slept with when he was 17 years old, making her guilty of statutory rape.
Their alleged sexual encounter happening 9 years later, in 2013, at a California hotel, according to a notice of intent to sue cited by The Times. Bennett, now 22, saying, "At the time, I believe there was still a stigma to being in the situation as a male in our society. I didn't think that people would understand the event that took place from the eyes of a teenage boy." While Argento has denied allegations of a sexual relationship with Bennett, she did, however, acknowledge the settlement funded by her then-boyfriend, the late Anthony Bourdain.
The patriarchy is oppressive! Men are the source of all the world's problems! Or so we're told. On one hand, most 17-year-old boys would probably jump at the chance to get laid, no matter who it was with. But that doesn't change the fact that there was a power dynamic tilted heavily in Argento's favor that all the Me Too proponents would have vehemently condemned were this an older man and a younger woman. The feminists aren't the great moral heroes they claim themselves to be. I could be wrong, but I haven't really seen any angry tweets coming from SJWs in an effort to crucify Argento. Must be because women can never be wrong. This must somehow be a man's fault.
Well, we're not perfect, but that's no crime. How can we be wrong every time? Even when we don't get caught, it's still the man's fault.
And there's really no need for a drum roll this week since I already said the name of the weekly hottie at the beginning. But let's throw one in anyways. I'd like everyone to give a big welcome to our guest and aspiring model, Kimberly Potter, the weekly hottie. Kimberly, hello.
I'm Kimberly Potter.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my main thing I do is just take pictures of myself, try to practice modeling photos, try to practice models blocks or anything. I want to get a agency. I think I've gotten a couple of them right now that will help me out, but you've contacted me and I'm very thankful about that.
And what will you be modeling for us today?
Right. This one good. Not bad. Little outfit for you. Alright, here's my little outfit for you. It's not bad. Alright. I mostly want to just get as many people to see me so I can develop a career out of modeling. And I also want to do nail acrylics for my career, but mostly modeling, maybe fashion model or runaway model. I wouldn't mind that.
Looking good, Kimberly. Again, to everyone watching, please help her out by following her on Instagram and Twitter. Links are below.
Thank you for following me and having this opportunity with me. Go and follow 2 Cents, and thank you.
And that's it for this week. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. That is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.
That's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth.